Ciao, Mama. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Hi, guys. Hi.
Hi everybody, and welcome to A Case of the Jills on another off-road edition. One thing I'm absolutely sure of today is that I overdressed. I wanted to make sure I say thank you to those of you who have asked me about how things are going here in Italy. As many of you probably know, we're on yet another lockdown. I think none of us expected that, or maybe we did. It's hard to know at this point. It's so confusing, but I think we've struggled a little bit to get vaccines happening here, so the lockdown was sort of inevitable due to the variations that are sort of around. We do now at this point have family members. So my husband's aunt and uncle are both in the hospital. They live in Verona. They are elderly, and it is extremely sad. It has taken us an entire year to actually have personal family members in the hospital or actually get COVID. Up to this point, we haven't had any family members with COVID. So as much as that is terrible and sad and awful, it is the first time it's happened in a year. And I just hope that they get well and can come home soon. Meanwhile, I am out here with the two most important pieces of equipment, one of which is my face mask, which is hanging from my arm right now since we are literally in the middle of nowhere and I don't think I'm gonna need to put it on. I cannot give COVID to the trees, so I think we're gonna be okay. And my second most important piece of equipment, which is sunblock. Guys, I don't talk about this stuff very often. I don't talk about skin and beauty stuff, but please, those of you who are watching this channel are most likely athletes who are most likely going outside. So please put your sunblock on. Trust me, you will thank me later. So this chat today is inspired by a couple of clients that I've had recently who have expressed to me how surprised they are to start to have to contemplate the fact that their bad habits of overexercising and undereating have a root that is not where they thought it was. Sometimes people think that these bad behaviors of overexercise and undereating are just as a response to diet culture, a desire to be thin, a desire to be super fit, a desire to become a long distance runner or a super competitive runner, or even just improve running times if that's your jam. Something about body composition if you're a gym athlete. Lots of times we sort of say, well, it's because I'm trying to achieve this goal. And I got into some bad habits because in order for me to achieve that goal, I had to do some pretty drastic things. The thing is, that may be true, but that's not the problem. That's actually a symptom of the problem. The problem actually comes from a much deeper place. When we engage in these disruptive behaviors, overexercise, undereating, I know I keep repeating myself, but I want to make sure we know that we're referring to all of it. When we engage in these behaviors, we are relying on them as compensatory measures, a compensatory mechanism against something that our brain doesn't like. Our brain is using these behaviors to compensate for uncomfortable emotions, uncomfortable feelings, usually related to something about ourselves that makes us feel unsafe. So the color and flavor of that can vary. It can be maybe something about trauma that you experienced when you were a young person. It can be deep-seated insecurities. It can be general fears about who you are in this world, what your value is. Either way, these thoughts, these feelings are triggering a need for comfort, a need for management, and truthfully, a need for dopamine. And so these behaviors that we engage in, and by the way, they can be anything. For our community, it's going to be overexercise and undereating. But for other people, it could be substance abuse. It can be drugs, alcohol. It can be things like gambling, sex, shopping. I mean, it really can be anything. Whatever your brain kind of enjoys and sees as a viable solution to combat these uncomfortable emotions, it will use. In our case, the need to manage these uncomfortable emotions ends up pushing us to exercise more and always eat less, and translate this sort of need for value into a need for our body to look like something or for our athletic achievements to look like something. The thing is that those athletic achievements and those body composition or weight goals still do not change the fact that we have uncomfortable emotions about something. And therefore, those uncomfortable emotions continue to get unaddressed. The more we run, the more we diet, the more we try to look or be a certain thing as a result of our sport, we're still not addressing the root problem.
And all along the way, there's these little guys. Look, I know they're probably weeds, but you know, don't spoil my fun.
So this is why I have such an issue with people thinking that the way to teach others how to recover from things like overtraining syndrome and from hypothalamic amenorrhea and all the resulting pathologies from overexercise and undereating is just mechanical, right? Just eat more, just exercise less. Just mechanical. It's fine. That's all you have to do to get your period back. That's all you have to do to get your body to recover. Well, yeah, sure. You can eat more and you can exercise less, and you certainly will recover. You certainly will feel better. Your body will be in a better place. And I would also argue that to some extent, your mind will be in a better place just as a result of better nourishment. But that still does not address the problem. So you may find temporary success. You may get a period back. You may feel better. Things may start going in the right direction. But then what happens when you exert pressure on that system again? Those mechanical solutions stop working as well. Why? Because you don't have buy-in. You do not have an emotional connection to your reasons for recovering because you haven't seen the fact that your bad habits are actually taking you farther away from feeling better about yourself psychologically than you think.
You guys, someday this is gonna be my house. Seriously, it is so magnificent. I'm trying not to be a creep and show you everything about it, but it's absolutely gorgeous. By the way, if that's your house, this is your view. Yep, it's kind of a clear day today. Yeah, not bad, huh?
Let me use myself as an example. I know that the reason why I overexercised and didn't fuel properly, well, there's a lot of reasons, obviously. We are all multifaceted individuals, right? But I know that one of the main reasons why I overdid it was because I needed my sport. Most of you know I was an ultramarathoner. I was a triathlete before that. I needed these sports to tell me something about myself that I didn't see. I didn't want to see. I needed these sports to prove my value, to show me my worth. No, wait, hold on. To show everybody else my worth. I'd been through some horrible things in my life. Traumas, divorce, some terrible things, like many of you watching this video right now. And I needed that self-esteem boost. I needed those behaviors to prove to me, or to, which it wasn't, of course, but to make me think I was in control of something. And to make me think that I was controlling the narrative about myself. I don't know how I feel about myself, but if you look at me and you see my body a certain way and you learn that I can, run 100K or 100 miles or whatever it is, that should impress you by just knowing that about me. And where I don't feel good about other things about myself, the fact that you are impressed by these facts is something I can lean on. So time goes on and two bad things happen. One is that I never addressed the root cause of my insecurity. And two, I convinced myself that this is the only way to fly. That I just don't have anything else besides these habits that prove what kind of person I am. I don't spend the time developing other aspects of myself or even thinking there are other aspects to develop because this is me, this is who I am, this is what I do, right? This is what you know about me. This is the best thing about me, right? So true recovery can really only happen when we're willing to do the work on our mental status, on our mental health, our perception of ourselves, our value in the world, our purpose. True recovery can only come when we're willing to address that. Yes, the mileage, lower the mileage. Yes, the food, eat more food, eat the carbs, Yes, and those are all mechanical things which we can talk about. I mean, I can write you a list of those things and put it on Instagram and you would understand what I'm talking about. But yet when I tell you you have to address your perception of your own self-worth, people kind of get that like bug eye look, which I understand. I mean, I was there too. So what is the solution? How do we make this all come together? Well, first we need to know that this is not a simple mechanical solution. It requires dedicated work. It requires looking deep and asking ourselves the hard questions about ourselves. Who do we want to be? Who are we? What do we want to be known for? What are our deepest insecurities and how did they get there? This isn't going to happen overnight, but it is going to happen with some work. You might say, oh my gosh, this feels too big. It seems impossible. Like, how am I going to get my brain around all this stuff? Well, you got to start somewhere. It starts with practice. Here's the thing. Your brain has gotten the idea that this emotion, this feeling about yourself is so uncomfortable that it has to compensate for it by drowning it in exercise and diet. That's not going to unravel itself in 5 minutes, but it can unravel. The way to begin is, again, to start asking yourself those hard questions. Try to figure out what the heck it is that you're trying so hard not to see. And with dedicated work, maybe a good therapist, and hey, maybe even a few videos on my channel, you're going to see that this work is worth doing because it's going to release you from a lot of pent-up pain that's been holding you back. I can personally vouch for that. This is about the time where I can add in some of those cliche sayings. They're cliche, but you know what? They work. They work real good. Like there's that one that says, your greatest freedom lies beyond your biggest fear. But it's actually true. It is. The first step to freedom involves not thinking that this is a mechanical problem that can be solved with just a few dietary and exercise tweaks. That will start you off on the journey. But that ain't the whole thing.
Okay, so we're back in my neighborhood, and well, this is not my house, but I wish it was.
So we're back at my house. I just wanted to say thanks for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed this chat. I don't say this enough, but it would really help me out if you would subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content and would like to see more. You can find me on Instagram at A Case of the Jills. You can also find me at my website at acaseofthejills.com. Email me with questions, acaseofthejills@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can schedule with me a mentoring call through my website. Hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.